Okay, what it is. Father Moo here. Thank you so much for joining us again today. Good to see people coming out. Good to see people commenting with their feedback. Really love that. And not to brag, although I am going to totally brag, but we had a first-time listener, first-time caller who called into the show, in a matter of speaking. A guy named Tim Bradley reached out to me and said he made a patch after watching the Minimal Techno video, and he put it on he made sure it was compatible with the Micro Modular, which is my smaller version. There's also the full Nord Modular, but he managed to squeeze it into a single patch that will work on the Micro Modular, and he sent it over, and due to the brilliance of how this hardware and software works, you can send me that tiny little patch file, and it loads into my system perfectly. So, without further ado, let's take a listen to that. The track we've been hearing here is something called Disjunction Drums from my collection of other people's patches, just as a little intro. So this is actually, I loaded it to make sure it works, but I haven't really investigated it, so I'm going to be as new to this patch as you are. So, don't get mad at me if I don't understand how part of it works. You like that? We now have a folder called Community Patches. So if anybody out there is operating a Micro Modular or a Nord Modular, the first version, not the G2, feel free to send me a patch and I'll load it up and take a look at it. So here we go. This is called Ultrarhythm. I've named it as 01 Ultrarhythm in the Community Patches archive, and go. Okay. Kind of can't see all of the patch, but let's just drag and move here. There we go. We had a kick drum at the start, and now I'm getting what sounds like a snare, but that's all I'm really getting. But he's done a great job of labeling things for me here to make it easier. So here he's got knob 1, 2, and 3. Let's just take a look at the cables. Oddly enough, they don't appear to be connected to anything. There's no outputs of these, but let's just go with it for now. Maybe these, oh, you know what? He probably just put these in only as labels. So here it says knob 1 equals clock switch, knob 2 equals output switch, and knob 3 equals shuffle morph. Okay, this is probably just his notepad to get my attention. Awesome, brilliant. So we can scroll over to the actually connected modules and see what's happening here. First of all, let's just try tweaking them. We got knob 1 fully left, knob 2 fully right, knob 3 fully right. So I'll just match my configurations here. The Nord Modular has what I think is called parameter locking. So if your knobs on your hardware don't match what's in the software, until you line them up, they won't jump to a position. So here's knob 1. Okay, well, one thing I'm getting is more snares when I do that. Let's try knob 2. I might need to do something with them together. The snare volume got quieter. Knob 3. Oh, here we go. Let's give it a little volume here. There's a percussion type sequence. Here we go. The tempo has changed as well. I can see here he has internal clock. He used a LFO generator to make one with a square wave instead of the typical clock. He also has external clock, so maybe if I connected a MIDI device, it would do, like we heard the tempo change, but if there was a MIDI device, it might have been on a different tempo to start with. I'm not totally sure. You can see he's done something that I rarely do here. He's are on-off switches, but they are patched to the knob 1 because I can tell they've turned red, unlike the inputs and outputs, which are always red. So it looks like if you turn knob 1 a certain amount, although you won't see it happen here, one of these will switch from on to off, and the other one will switch from off to on, if you guessed it. Cool, so we got like a percussion sequence. The knobs definitely allow for more flexibility of what's going on. You got a pretty solid snare, and you've got the percussion sequence. I wonder if the kick is only triggered by an external MIDI clock. Let me just mess around a little bit here. We're getting to the tech side of things. Synth settings. This says MIDI clock internal, external. I don't know if this will actually do anything because there's nothing connected. I think I'm getting that kick now that I wasn't getting before. Yeah, I hear it. Let's go back to the default settings. That's nothing, okay. Wait, did I kill everything? Why did I kill everything? What happened? I don't understand. Let's just reload the patch. Maybe I switched from... Maybe my knob switched to only external MIDI clock, and there is no external MIDI clock, so I got nothing. So let's go back. No, that's not the right one. Synth settings. MIDI clock internal. Okay, I heard that kick again, you see? Just that one kick at the beginning. Let's twist the knobs again here. Oh, now I got a kick again. Good, the kick is still with us. That's good. That's what I want to hear. Yes. Oh, I see the green knob is also wired into what he's, again, nicely labeled as output switch. I don't know if he's messing with me or not here. The Nord Micro Modular only has 2 hardware outputs, 1 and 2. So I think if I turn the green knob to certain settings, it will switch to 3/4, which means I don't get anything at all. But anyway, I'm hearing what I think are all 3 of the sounds right now. So this sounds like Ultrarhythm to me. The snare, the kick, and the, I guess it's probably like white noise going into a filter that's being controlled by a clocked sample and hold. Neat. Just to keep in the spirit of this project, since Tim was so nice to make something and send it to me, I think I'm going to sample this at some point in the future, just a few bars of it, and drop into some track I'm making. I'll put that on YouTube later. Just before I go away from this, I'm going to notice he also pointed out here hi-hat, kick, and snare. Let's just look at how he made those for a second. Unlike me, who I have characterized as being lazy, he didn't use percussion modules at all. His hi-hat is mostly colored noise into my favorite digitizer. He used EQ shelving and a filter to process the sound, and doing something with the envelope into, I don't know what's going on there. There's an overdrive in the signal. So he built his own hi-hat by starting with a colored noise source, reducing the sample rate and the bit rate, and also processing the audio in other ways. This is the normal way to make a hi-hat if you're doing synthesis, or if you look at the hi-hats in a hardware drum machine in the old days, like a 606 or something, used white or colored noise or certain oscillator settings to make their hi-hat. His kick is also not a percussion thing at all. It's a sine wave. I guess I can hear that a bit because there's an input going into the pitch, and I can hear it get higher in pitch on certain notes. Then he's got it going into overdrive and an envelope, and he's going into the compressor as well. Keep it under control. And then finally has his snare, another noise source, which he's filtered and put into a variety of envelopes, and so on. He's got his LFOs running things down here as well. And the patterns, especially these event sequencers, seem to be running the kick. I would assume that this note sequencer is the one that makes the hi-hat pattern go up and down the way it does. So yeah. Other than mapping knobs to things and using it to create a real-time controllable sequence, I don't personally see how this was inspired by my Minimal Techno patch, but who really cares, right? What matters is you give somebody an idea and they run with it, and even if they end up in a place that's musically far away from where they started, that doesn't matter. That's probably a good thing. The farther you get away, the better. But yeah, interesting stuff. Thank you so much for sending it to us. Again. He's got so much more flexibility in tempo alone, just to keep things interesting here. Maybe in a live performance situation, if you wanted to have multiple tempoed sections, you could use a patch like this. Even with a very tiny amount of knob tweaking, you can get from a slow to a fast tempo. Interesting stuff. Okay, so gonna keep it brief for today, just because I'm a busy man today. But thanks again to Tim Bradley for coming up with a patch and being inspired and sharing it with me. Really appreciate that. Again, any other modular users out there who want to share something, please do. I saw a couple people in the comments mention VCV Rack, and I don't own that myself. I think there's a free version, so if you've built something in VCV Rack that's connected to one of the videos I made, then feel free to send it in, and if I can't guarantee that I'll get it on the broadcast here, but I'll do what I can to, at least I'll give it a try. But Nord Modular G1 patches would be a lot easier to send and get loaded. As you can see here, get loaded with no problems at all. It's a tiny little file, it's only a few KB, so you can attach it to an email. So yeah, thanks again, Tim. Thanks again to what I hope will be a growing community. And it's been a blast to get this. I totally wasn't expecting it. But yeah, let's listen to a patch for the same patch for the bit as I tweak, and we'll see you all next time.